project in my organization around retaining women in technology positions, and what he shared with us today are some of the things we can take back to the women that we're working with. So yes, but particularly around brand.
I'm going to be taking a lot of tools to use not only in my personal career, but also on my daughters. Especially since this was mainly geared towards women. I have 2 daughters and a niece that are really close to me that I'm definitely going to be just giving me another way of leading them into the right direction and just pursue their own careers and things like that. So great information.
I was really inspired with the actual tips that I was given to maintain my brand in my workplace. I think a lot of us lose that aspect of ourselves, and I run a women's leadership group in my college and district, and so a lot of this valuable information will come back to that for Maricopa Community Colleges.
Gina and Regina, look at that, Gina and Regina.
We sang good job, but we just wanted to tell you this was awesome. The things you said, there are little takeaways I'm going to take with me, and the big one that resonated with me is we let our own fear hold us back.
Yes.
Women tend to do that more than men, and I was like, I am told that by my girlfriend's mentors.
Right.
You let your fear hold you back.
Mm-hmm. Is it true?
Oh, it is.
I think it is too, because I just told her that you said that you were a department chair, and I am in my 4th year right now as residential faculty. And
he took it and said, I'm very much not about the bi-gender approach, so taking the fact that it's not just about women, but it's about all people and how we interact together and how we move together, as opposed to worried about women's issues and men issues, but how we're all in it together, moving forward to stand out.
Everything that he said was interesting. I really liked what he talked about in terms of branding. That's something that I'm going to take back to my workplace for sure.
Well, I really did like what he had to say, mainly because really from the beginning, when he talks about synergy and how it's not just about women, because I'll be truthful, where I was like, do I need to go see this one? Do I not need to go see this one? Because I had to make a choice, and someone said, you need to go see Jermaine. So, I think that bringing that synergy and remembering that we all are in this together is really important for us in order to make a difference in our world and make that change.
He tried to live everything that he was speaking about, so I find him to be right on point. Everything he says, everything. I do stuff even though I'm afraid to do it. I don't let my fear make me not take an opportunity. I've gotten pretty far in life by just going for it, even if that internal dialogue says you're not good enough yet, you can't, you're not ready, I just go do it anyway. Be your own cheerleader, actually don't be afraid to promote yourself. Say what your accomplishments are and how well you do some things. I think it's great to encourage people to do that.
I have seen a glass ceiling when it comes to women in promotions or women in any stretch positions where they're doing a lot of public speaking, asserting themselves. And I mean, this would be just great to interject this type of these ideologies and this thought process and some of our business leaders. Maybe we could have in a lot of our women co-workers, and maybe there'd be more confidence in approaching their supervisors about having those positions. And it's just phenomenal. I'm taken aback, right?
Yeah, I think it was amazing that he went into the core values of what a male is and what a woman can be. I really was intrigued by that.
He was speaking my language because I'm a communication major, so the things that he was talking and some of the concepts that he took from communication really struck a chord with me, and things about making your brand known and understanding your brand, living your values, and understanding them, and the higher you go, it's easier to stick to your values if you know them. I think that's kind of one of those things that we don't want to sell our soul to anybody. Yeah, right. So I think that just reinforces what we know we should do.
Yeah, and along those same lines, I think around the brand, what stood out for me is just being able to communicate what your brand is, know what it is, and be able to just, comfortably say it. Like we definitely as women feel like we don't want to shed a light on our accomplishments and things that we've done. So, and this is isn't the first time that I've heard this in the past year, and it's resonating. I definitely need to make sure that I'm being able to easily communicate what I've done and feel comfortable about it. So.
Did a good job of acknowledging reality in terms of things that are happening in the marketplace right now, but he also gave a message that's good for everybody. But he has also catered his message strictly to women and gave a lot of good ideas and tips and tricks, create more of an equality environment, an equal environment.
He definitely
targeted women. At the same time, he also included, the men. It wasn't just all about the women, but he did mention that, us as women, us as a quote-unquote minority, we need to find the passion within us. We need to find the self-motivation. We need to take initiative of our own life. We can't have someone define our life for us. We need to define it for ourselves. And if we don't have the direction, then there's really no one to blame but ourselves. We have to stand up and go, no, this is what I want out of life, and I'm going to work, and I'm going to, do what I have to do to get it done. No one's going to tell me what to do. So I really feel that what his mission pretty much today, in my opinion, was that he needed to give us that extra boot, that extra drive within ourselves to go, you know what, you can do it. You can do it, and stay focused and stay strong, and you can accomplish anything you want out of life.
Many organizations today, their cultures are predominantly male-based, and so as we're looking at this, we're talking about cultural transformation, and so a change from a very male-based organization to one where there's a strong consideration of women is really important, I think, and he's an expert in that area.
It exists, and I think as a woman in leadership, it's up to me to watch for stuff like that, to make sure I'm helping women reach up and move ahead.
First of all, I really was impressed or impacted by the message that he talked about the woman who was well endowed and how she chose intellectualism over sexualism, and she maintained her values. That was really impressive how you just stood that way and she didn't sell out in that manner.
Yeah, I think it's really important that women don't put themselves down and step up and don't be basically cowed by the men around them. I teach in a community college, and usually it's the fellows that speak up and the girls sit there. And now I'm motivated to try to pull them out more, the girls, the women. What he said related to how when he had, I think it was 6 students and 5 were women and 1 was a male. And when they had to give a presentation, the male stood up and the women acquiesced to him. And I think that happens all the time, and I don't want that to happen. He just solidified my thinking that women need to not feel cowed by the men around them and speak up.
Sometimes we tend to push them down and put them in a gender role, and I don't want that for them. I want them to get a career. I want them to either go to college and get their own career, or I want them to get their own business, but I want to empower them. And these are definitely tools that I'm definitely going to be using.
I love I believe it was the win, values and victories. So I'm going to try to live by that and kind of think about, what are those things that I want to kind of, make sure that I'm always remembered and be part of what I do and share that, right? But that was a really good one for me. The branding piece, that's something that I've been working towards. So I think the steps that he gave us were really useful. So I'm hoping that I can take those on and also share those with my colleagues.
I loved him helping me to identify my adjective. I'll say it like that, and to focus on that adjective as my key point of who I am. And I love that part because that's not only good in my personal life, but it's good in my professional life because it's me. So it was good. I really enjoyed it.